Hello, everybody. My name is Benny, and welcome to the Fool's Apprentice. Today is Hashtag Saturdays. I love Hashtag Saturdays. And I have a really good one today. It comes all the way from the Three Fat Readers with Lisa, Dani, and Dustin. It's a really, really good one. I'm looking forward to showing you what I'm really thankful for. The hashtag is hashtag Thankful Tarot 23. People have already been doing it. I've really enjoyed watching them. And this is mine. And I'm back. Okay, guys. Thankful for Tarot 23. 2023 has been a pretty big year for me. I've been able to accomplish several of the goals that I set for myself last August. August was my yearly, it was my full year. And so I'm going to take those goals that I had in August and incorporate some new goals and then reset my year for every January like everybody else. There were some surprises for me in this year, and some of them are within this hashtag. So the first question is a deck that taught you a valuable lesson this year. And for me, that is the Lubanco Tarot. Um, and it's really interesting to see what people talk about when it comes to the lessons they've learned. For me, with this deck, oh man, let me see. They probably should be still in order. So let me pull out the cards that taught me a very good lesson. Um, and it was oh man, this deck is beautiful. Okay, so when I first saw this deck, let me zoom in a little bit. 1 second, guys. All right, okay. Is that good enough? No, let me zoom in a little bit more. I'll make sure. Okay. So one of the things that I really loved in this is the emotion that this card or this deck brings up. This is one of my favorite Empress cards I've ever seen. I just love how loving she is towards her child and how, this child feels very secure. It has everything that I need for it to be the Empress card. I love that it's very diverse. That's another thing about this deck I like is the diversity in it. And that she's wearing a crown. Isn't that beautiful? This Emperor, man, like this dude tells me to do something, I'm going to do it. Anyway, I'm going to try not to do a walkthrough. But one of the things that I really, really liked, like I said, is all the emotion that this deck brought up. And when I first saw it, I was going to buy it when it first came out. And I hesitated a lot because of 2 cards. But the rest of the deck, I love the rest of the deck. Let's look at the 5 of Pentacles. This is probably one of my, I was going to say least favorite, but that's not true. I love how far away they are. Anyway, just a stunning, stunning deck. But then there were 2 cards that really, really I found, oh, that's beautiful. I love the 2 of Wands, that I found very disturbing. It brought up a very visceral, okay, this is one of my favorite 10 of Wands. I just love, love, love this. The strength and perseverance and courage that it takes to, walk with it, whatever burden that you have. I think this card really, really signifies that because he's climbing a mountain. He's out there alone. He's having to work really hard. He has all this that he needs to carry above. It's like, it takes a lot of work to get where he's going. And I just love that. That's one of the most clear, depictions of the 10 of Wands I've ever seen. All right. Then I saw these 2 cards. And they really, really bother me. They bothered me so much that I passed on the deck. Because I just couldn't get past just how disturbing they were for me. Um, it made me extremely uncomfortable to see. It just, I averted my eyes. I would flip through it really quick. I'd skip it when I was watching walkthroughs. And so I just decided this I was gonna pass. And then I don't know. I decided a while later I ended up doing some more walkthroughs, and then just this thought crossed my mind. Well, maybe that's what these cards are supposed to do for you, Bimini. They're touching a button for you. And maybe they're there specifically for you to work on the issues that bring up such visceral emotions from you. Um, and then all of a sudden, my perspective changed on the deck. And I also knew that these cards wouldn't come up a lot because there's 78 cards, at least I think so. And that perspective made me want to buy the deck. And so I went to buy the deck, and of course it was sold out, and then I couldn't get it. So I just kept an eye out for it. And then all of a sudden, the creator posted that she had a small box left over that she was going to put up for sale. And let me tell you, I stalked that site. It went on sale, and I got me a deck. I am so happy I was able to get me this deck, because this is one of my favorite decks that I own. I just love it. I love the feel of it. I mean, you can do all kinds of work with this. I think you can do normal readings. I think definitely shadow work. You can do inner child work, forgiveness work, grief work. I mean, there's just a lot that you can do with this, I think. And for me, these cards are about personal growth and healing whatever needs that's coming up for me. And so what this deck taught me was that I need to follow my instincts when a deck comes up, and not make a decision based on one or two cards, because those are the cards that probably will um, cause me to grow the most. And so this deck definitely taught me a very valuable lesson when it comes to looking at decks. Because before, it was all about how pretty they are and how they made me feel in a positive way. And sometimes a deck needs to touch that button you avoid exposing. And so that's why I chose the Labanco Tarot. It's a beautiful deck, right? I mean, it's stunning. And the cards don't bother me as much as they used to, but I still find them quite disturbing. Excuse me, guys. Okay, the next one, number 2, is a deck that you are thankful someone gifted you this year. I was sitting there going, I didn't get it. Nobody gifted me a deck. I don't know anybody that would gift me a deck. And all of a sudden, I remembered that a creator ended up giving me one of her decks. I ended up buying 2 of the decks. And she gifted me this deck, asking me to do a walkthrough on my channel. And so I will tell you that I bought the 2 smaller ones. I had no intentions of buying this one. It's Santos and Signs, the number 3 by Melissa Lucia. I think she has an interview on Tarot Maps, and she has a blog. You can find this deck on Etsy. This deck is stunning. This deck, it comes from grave sites and side road signs. I think that's right. There's 3 of them, so I can get a little confused. But look at this. And it came at a perfect time because December is spiritual month for me. And what I like about these cards is they really kind of ground me in the faith that I grew up in. Now, I will say that I was quite traumatized by the religion I was brought up by, because of what. Do we have 2 of these? Oh, I bet one of them is it backwards? Oh, I got 2 of them. Interesting. All right, I can use one as a bookmark. So I was quite terrorized by the faith that I grew up in, the religion that I grew up in. Are we able to see all of this? Let me zoom out. These are a bit bigger. Um, you know, growing up in the Catholic religion in a very Catholic city in the 80s, well, actually the 70s and 80s, very conservative state, trying to figure out who you are. And for me was figuring out or coming to the terms that I was a gay man or a young gay boy was hard because everybody said that I was unworthy of God's love, that I was going to go to hell. And that time was very torturous for me, emotionally and psychologically, because I don't know. I just wanted to be loved you know, and I didn't know where to turn to. And that was a very lonely time for me. And one of the things that I knew, oh my God, I could cry for that little boy, is that I didn't have anybody to turn to. I had no role models. I had nobody. And the last person that I was told I could turn to was God. And so I literally had nobody. And it was an extremely difficult time for me. But fortunately, I found my path. And I don't believe that. Oh, this is a beautiful photo, right? I did convert to Buddhism, but I do have a lot of Christian beliefs. And so my shrine does have a painting of the Buddha, of St. Jude, and St. Jude is the patron saint of hopeless causes. He definitely played a big part in my life. The Virgin Mary and Jesus Christ. And it's because somewhere within I found peace and came to terms with not with God or saints or anything like that, but with how man depicted God and what man said about me and being loved. And I came to realize that, that's their belief and it's not mine. And so this really helps me tap into that little boy who really just wanted to be loved by God. And today he is. I'm just so grateful she gifted me this. I will always cherish this deck. Okay. Number 3, a deck that gave you a new perspective on tarot year. Now, this was a surprise for me. Oh my God, the light. All right, I'm going to have to angle it. Here we go. Excuse me, guys. You can even hear it in my voice. It's that time of the year. The Morgan Greer Tarot really, I think, taught me how to look at tarot just a little different. What I like about this deck is that it reminded me that, mass market decks can be just as valuable as an indie deck. And why I put more value in indie decks over mass market, I don't know where that came from in my mind, but I have found several decks that have really, really resonated with me just as much, if not more, with some of the mass indie decks. And this is the first deck that made me very consciously aware that mass market decks, have their place in my tarot practice. And not only a place, but a vital, important place that I can grow from. The Tarot of the Abyss is another one. Oh my gosh, that deck. I love the guidebook and I love the imagery and the perspective that creator has on each card. But this Oh my God. I didn't think I would like this deck, but I kept seeing it and there was something that was drawing me to it. And finally it was just like, yeah, I'm going to get it. And this is one of my favorite decks. I think if I have to redo my top 10, I don't even know if I had this in my top 10 decks that I would take. This is definitely going to be one of my top 10 decks. I love the colors. I love the imagery. Let me tell you what I really love is this 70s feel. Where are you? With the men in here with their big mustaches. Look at that. I love that. Like, this is the kind of guy I would love to know. Um, Here's another one. I just think that's because I don't see beards and mustaches very often. Love the backs. The cardstock doesn't bother me. It's actually, look at that. I love with the long hair. Love it. Love it. So, but that's what this deck did. It gave me the perspective that mass market decks have a place. They have a place in my tarot practice just as much as any indie deck. And they can provide just as much, if not more, personal growth depending on the deck and what I'm trying to do during that tarot reading. So that was actually a really nice thing because now I look at mass market decks differently because of that deck. All right. Number 4, a deck that offered you comfort in a dark time this year. And I had to really think about that, guys. My life is not perfect. However, I have a very blessed life. I like my life. I like who I am. I've worked on a lot of my baggage of the past and healed from it. So really, for me, a lot of it is relationships that I think create a lot of my stress and an internal struggle on what the right thing is for me. And 2 decks really helped me with this. The first, this is the deck of Wonder Walking, and this is I'll show you this in a second. Let's do this one first. All right. Now, one of the things that I do, let me zoom out, is I take my dogs out every day. And that's time where I can just be very present with my dogs, but that's also a time where I get to reflect and just be very present. It's a very mindful practice that I have. Um, Here you, and this just had another Kickstarter. I got the journal since I have the deck. I'm really excited about the journal. A deck for Wonder Walking. I love this deck. I really do. I don't use it as much as I should, but I love this deck. I think my only issue with this deck is that sometimes the writing you can't see very well. Like this is home. And so you're really prompted to take this image with you and then the keyword discomfort and just contemplate. And it gives you, I'll show you, but this deck allows me just to really reflect on, I don't do reversals, so I don't know why this is, some of these are reversed. But I just find this deck very comforting. I love this. Look at this. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And it's like using this deck is like taking a deep breath that you let out so slowly, and then all of a sudden your mind gets clear. Then I would take my dogs and I would walk, and then of course my mind would drift, and then I'd come back to the imagery in my mind with the word, and then my dog would distract me, and then I would just do it over and over again. And then when you pull a card, it tells you what to do. So let's say the tiny writing, guys, it kills me. I even have glasses on. So let's do immersion. All right. It says, oh my God, soak it all in, touch, taste, feel, learn. What words do you want to Oh my God, I can't read that. I literally can't read that. Oh, okay, guys. This is the thing about having text that is too small that annoys me is that this happens. So I have to take a picture, and then what I have to do is blow it up so I could read the word, which is immerse. So soak all it is in, touch, taste, feel, learn. What words do you want to immerse yourself in on your walk? And so I pick a word, and let's say today I pick um, learn. So whatever is on my mind regarding whatever issues going on, I think, okay, what do I want to learn from this lesson? And then I just sit with it and see what my mind brings up. So, and then I go with it. And then I try to be very mindful of whatever lesson it is that I'm supposed to learn. And just what I want to learn doesn't necessarily mean that's what I do learn. Now, the other one is my first deck, my first unicorn deck that I ever wanted that I was able to get. Not once, but twice. It's the Royal Fez of Moroccan. I love this deck. I think it is so beautiful. I love the colors. They're just very few primary colors that they use. And I don't know. It's just this world that just feels really easy to fall into where, you know, you can just not worry a lot. Like, there's not so much going on that it's distracting. I think it's a very clear, kind deck that tells you what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear, but gives it to you in a way that is digestible and that you can face. There are some decks like the Lambanco that I just showed that are just very, very in your face. And there are certain questions that I wouldn't ask because it would be too harsh. And there are times where, there are times where you just want to be held and hugged and just have somebody present, but not necessarily talk. That's what this deck does for me. It's a beautiful deck. The backs are very, very 70s. In fact, the gentleman that founded Mensa for, genius people, um, is the creator of this deck. In fact, it wasn't actually made until after his death, but it's a beautiful, beautiful deck. And so there's a couple of other decks, oracles, that I go to when I need, I don't know, spiritual guidance that these two decks don't necessarily give me. But when it comes to comfort, these are the decks that I go to first. And I love this bag. I got it on Etsy, and I think it fits the deck really, really well. Now, a deck number 5, a deck that you are thankful for you took a chance this. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I'm gonna see if I can edit this out. If not, it's gonna stay in. Number 5, a deck that you're thankful you took a chance on this year. And that is the Rainbow Tarot. Now, I saw this and I really, really liked it right off the bat. But I was like, okay, one, look at the backs. They're adorable. They're cute. They're pink. They're all rainbows. But I was like, but that's not really my style, right? And then I go through the cards and they're beautiful. They're beautiful. But I'm like, this isn't my style. This is not like what I would normally be attracted to. But I kept coming back through to the creator's Instagram page and kept looking at the images. And I think there was a walkthrough one that I saw, and I just kept going back to it. And I was like, okay, there's something about this deck that is drawing me. But as you can see, it is so unique. It's extremely colorful, very playful. Um, I mean, it just speaks to the little kid in me. When you play and you can be imaginative and you can make everything real. I love this Five of Wands. Look at this Queen of Wands. Isn't she amazing? And so I don't like um, the Sun card very often because it has sunflowers in it, and then that little kid is just creepy to me. this this is cute. It makes me laugh. And so then is it on here? Um, then I found out that the creator was a member of the LGBT community, and that this deck, where is it? Was inspired by the queer community. And at that point, I said, okay, I'm going to get it. And now I get the Rainbow Tarot. Get it. And so I bought it. One, to support her and the community. Another, because it's been on my mind. Look at this gilding. I love it. Rainbow. And when I got it, I immediately fell for it. Like, we are friends, this deck and I. Like, if I just want to have a good time, I want to play. I don't want to get all serious with my tarot cards because you know how we can get. This is the deck I pull out. I like this deck so much. I bought it for somebody, and I'm really, really happy that they liked it. Because, you just never know. Quirky decks like this are a hit and miss, I think. And it was a major hit for me. So I'm really, really glad that I took a chance on this. It's going to go mass market for those of you who want it. But I suggest giving it a chance. That's my Mexican upbringing coming out. Believe it or not, English is the second language. Spanish is my first because, long story short, my great grandmother, who I adored, who loved me dearly, we spent all this time together when I was a kid, and she only spoke Spanish. And so that's the language that I learned first. All right. My notes. Number 6, a deck that has become a workhorse this year. Well, if you know this channel, you know it is the Terra Volatile. Why has this become my workhorse? Because this is my study deck. And I just love this deck. I think this deck, now this, when you'd say, Benny, what's your style in a deck? Well, here you go. This is it. This is my style. I love this deck. I think it's very smart, very refined, very classy. I love the tones and the colors. I like the imagery. I like the feelings that it brings up. I just think this is the deck of the year for me. And I hope that it wins awards because this deck is phenomenal. And I really, really love that the creators did an expansion deck that allowed you to create your own deck. And what's interesting is that they give you enough cards that if you swap some out, the chances that you'll have the same one as someone else is very, very minute. But look at this. It's amazing. I love that the lover cards have 2 men. That's important to me for obvious reasons. Just love it. And then, am I done studying this deck? No. Gotten kind of lazy. I have so much on my plate, it's not even funny. Then they came out with a book. Let me zoom out. Can I get it all in there? I can. All right. So then they came up with a book. This is a chunky book. Look at that, guys. And oh my God, look at that. Oh, 2 extra cards. Full page imagery. They let you know where it comes from. This book is amazing. I could order a second book and use that as a study book where I can write all over it. I'm considering it. But I just love that they give you all this information. I think it's beautiful. And then I love that they spend as much time on, and then they give you all these spreads on the minors as they do on the majors. So, yeah, my workhorse deck of the year. All right, let me flip the camera over and I'll have some parting words. One moment. Okay, I'm back. So, yeah, I think that was a great hashtag. I actually had to sit and really think about each one. I think the biggest surprise of them all was for me. Let me see, where are my questions? I'm looking at the deck, but I want to read the question. Um, a deck that gave you a new perspective of the tarot this year, because I had to really sit and I'm like, what? And so I have my decks out and I'm looking at them, like, what deck actually gave me a new perspective? Um, and then like, it's such a broad question because a perspective could be so many very different things. And then when I looked at the Morgan Greer, it just was an easy choice after that because it really did change how I looked at decks holistically. And so that I think for me was the biggest influence of any tarot deck um, on tarot, in general. So I hope you enjoyed this hashtag. Oh, I can't believe we're almost at the end of the year. I got one more hashtag Saturday. So I got like two or three that I'm thinking about, but which one do I want for the last year? We'll see. Until next time, my name is Benny and I'm the Fool's Apprentice. Hello, everybody. My name is Benny and welcome to the Fool's Apprentice. Today is another hashtag Saturday. And of course, I forgot which one it is. Oh my gosh, I did this last week as well. So we are doing the three fat readers. Um, Hashtag thankful for Tarot 23. Thankful for Tarot 23. Hello, everybody. My name is Benny, and welcome to the Fool's Apprentice. So today is hashtag Saturdays, and I have a really good one. I got one from the three fat readers with Dustin, uh, Lisa, and oh my gosh,